China's infection numbers have been stabilising, but the country is not out of trouble just yet. The number of imported COVID-19 cases has climbed to 228. Authorities now face the challenge of preventing another wave of infections. The main entry points for infected travellers have been the key transport hubs in Beijing, Shanghai and Guangdong. The country has more than 80,000 confirmed coronavirus cases. On a more positive note, Hubei province, the epicenter of the outbreak, has had a second straight day without any new infections. Our correspondent Olivia Xiong is following developments. She joins us live for an update. Olivia, how are authorities dealing with the surge in imported cases?
Well, this is really a challenge because on the one hand, you're hearing the good news that there have been no domestically transmitted cases for the second day, and Chinese Premier Li Keqiang saying that the large majority of regions in the country are at low risk and life and work should fully resume. But on the other hand, we are hearing of a surge in the number of imported cases to the country, especially in the international hubs like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangdong, Shenzhen. But not just there, we are also hearing of these imported cases in other parts of China as well, with authorities saying that these involve travelers who have come from the US, UK, as well as Spain. Now, we do know that many overseas Chinese are returning to China. Many of them now feel that is a safe haven after the country was able to bring the situation and the outbreak under control. But we are also hearing from authorities that many of the imported cases actually involve many overseas Chinese students. And so authorities are saying that they cannot let their guard down or cannot relax vigilance so much that there is a rebound. So strict measures have been put in place, especially at the airports. For example, starting today at the Beijing, some of the international flights flying into Beijing have been diverted to nearby cities like Tianjin, Hohhot, as well as Taiyuan. And now that is to allow passengers to be screened at these nearby cities first, and then they will then, if they are cleared and given a clear bill of health, then they would be allowed to be flown on their original flight to Beijing. And so that's one of the measures that has been imposed. Now, we do know that many regions have also imposed compulsory 14-day quarantine on incoming travelers. And if you're arriving in a city like Beijing, this quarantine has to be done in a designated facility. And, you know, we are hearing reports that it's taking travelers many hours to be cleared and to get out of the airport. And this is an inconvenience that travelers into China will just have to put up with as Beijing and other parts of China really guard against the second wave of infection, so to speak.
Olivia, China is now working with Japan and South Korea to prevent the further spread of COVID-19. What are the details on this? Do we know more?
Yes, so the three countries' foreign ministers held a video conference today. This was initiated by China, and the three countries agreed that they would cooperate jointly to stem the spread of the virus, particularly exploring how they can harmonize some of their responses and measures to prevent cross-border infections. Now, another thing that they talked about was trying to maintain the movement of people to ensure crucial economic cooperation and trade, and ensuring the supply chains in all three countries. Now, the three countries have also said that they would convene a health ministers meeting as soon as possible so that they can continue to share information as well as to cooperate in developing medicine and a vaccine for COVID-19. Now, the three countries have not always had an easy relationship, even during this pandemic, when we talk about border control as well as reduction of flights between the countries. This has caused tension between them, but now we are seeing them cooperate, and this is in line, you know, with what China has been trying to do even before this pandemic. Now, China has had an uneasy relationship with South Korea and Japan over historical and, you know, territorial issues in the past, but as its relationship with the US has deteriorated, it has tried to build its relationship with other countries. And so we are continuing to see this happen even during this pandemic. And even as China and the US continue to engage in a war of words, today China has taken issue with US President Donald Trump using the term Chinese virus. And today, in particular, over that photo that has been circulated in which we saw President Trump's briefing notes scratch out the term corona in place of the term Chinese. And so the foreign ministry has hit back at that, saying that the stigmatization by using the term Chinese virus has greatly hurt the huge sacrifice of the Chinese people. And the two countries have continued to butt heads and blame each other for the origins of this pandemic, and this probably won't be the last of it.
All right, Olivia, we'll have to leave it there. Olivia Seong there, our correspondent, talking to us.